Hello there, World of Tankers, and welcome to the channel. I'm your host, World of Blitz, and in today's video, I'll be playing in the Tier 10 British Collector Heavy, the Super Conqueror, a vehicle that was pretty heavily buffed in the latest update of the game, in two ways. First of all, it received reactive armor, basically allowing this vehicle to be even more of a capable heavy. But not only did it receive reactive armor, but it also got another damage per minute buff. Now sitting with calibrated shells at 2,850. That's wildly good. Now that's not to mention the nerfs. People are looking at the buffs and they're like, oh, the tank's insane now. But you have to remember that the Super Conq did get some nerfs as well. It got a nerf to its on-movement dispersion, while a slight buff to its base dispersion. So it went from 0.362 to 0.344, which is decent. It's nothing crazy in terms of accuracy, but it's good enough for most situations. But you should no longer run Refined on the Super Conqueror, because they nerfed its on-movement. So now you should be running V-stabs. Not only that, but they also nerfed its reverse speed, going from 16 kilometers per hour to 14. And I do think that that is actually a rather substantial nerf that people are overlooking. Reversing out of trouble is one of the most important things in the game. It's why I think the Grill and Chieftain getting gear oil is just an insane buff. Because now the Grill is finally able to reverse out of positions it's put itself in. And the Chieftain can reverse at 19 now, which is insanely quick. So that is where I really find reverse speed being super nice. Just getting out of situations you may have over-aggressed in, or the enemy over-aggressed in. And because of that, with the reverse nerf and the reactive being added, I feel like they kind of even each other out. But you have to remember that reactive takes up one of your repair kit slots. And I've made 2 videos now with other vehicles using dual consumable. I did a video on the E50M running reactive and adrenaline, and I had my track broken, so I fixed it, tried to back up, and then a 62A shot me 0.1 seconds later, damaged my ammo rack. So now I spent the rest of the game for 70 seconds with a damaged ammo rack. While I was able to take what was a 800 average damage shot from a Yag and bring it down to 550 on my tank, you have to remember in return, I was then sitting with 40% less DPM than what I normally would have had for the next minute. And if I had had that extra DPM, would it have allowed me to actually deal more damage than I did in that game? Would it have allowed me to kill the Yag quicker? And even though I would have lost more health, have a better result? Those are things you always have to ask yourself. And it is a question that I constantly do ask myself when I play the game. For example, my 60 TP and Kron do not run dual consumable. My 60 I know has a poor ammo rack, and I know it gets damaged a lot. I know that you get tracked a lot in the 60. And because of that, I run double repair kit and tungsten, because I feel like you don't need to run both consumables. And that's the same thing for my Kron. You'll see a lot of people running dual consumable on their Kron, being speed boost and reticle calibration. But I feel like the Kron's playstyle is a frontline hold-down tank, and because of that, when people overpoke, your track wheels constantly get hit, your driver is a very big factor of dying a lot. So I don't like to put my Kron in a situation where I am not having a repair kit, especially because it's also very prone to getting lit on fire. So again, it's a tank where I don't run reticle cali on. These are decisions I always think about, and I choose, the Grill I do run dual consumable, because it's a passive tank where you shouldn't have to be worrying about getting shot. But this is a frontline vehicle, and it's a tank that people love to spam high explosive at, which means that there's a wider radius of damage being dealt to your modules. So these are things you always have to keep in mind. And it's something that I do think about a lot when I drive a vehicle like this. So we'll find out. We're sitting in queue a lot here, so hopefully we'll get into a game eventually. Okay, so finally we're in a game, and we are on Port Bay. Now, while I do not like Port Bay, the good news is that this map benefits vehicles that use gun depression. So we are going to bring our Super Conqueror over towards the hull downhill. Hopefully my team is going to support me. Looks like they are. Now let's hope the enemy team goes over towards this side of the map as well. A lot of times you'll see bad teams that go towards town, and trust me, I don't mind if they go town because it means they're bad and I can farm them out. But at the same time, I'd much rather use this tank where its strengths are, rather than bring it to a town engagement. But the great thing about the Super Conqueror is that it is actually a really good town fighter, because it has super strong upper plate armor, the sides are really well armored. Really, in any situation you drive the tank, it's always going to be a solid contender. There it is. There it is. The enemy team has indeed driven to the town. So what are we going to do? Well, we are going to maneuver our vehicle right up on this ridge here, which is going to give me the opportunity to possibly get a shot out. We'll see. We will see. I'm gonna push right here, and well, we'll see what happens. That STB I'm a little worried about though, because that STB will probably push somewhere like back here and could spot me at a distance. I don't want to obviously get like absolutely nuked, so always something to keep in mind. But we should be able to spot an E100 or a slower vehicle crossing, and there you go, we do actually spot the E100, but we are detected ourselves, which is why I'm going to back up just a bit. This is where that poor reverse speed now at 14 definitely feels a bit less influential. Having that reverse speed taken away, again, it's something to keep in mind when you're driving the tank. So, I don't know what to say. I mean, they have an M103 who's getting absolutely butchered on one side of the map. We have the 4005 over there, and there you go. Nice 389 damage shell. We are spotted, and we do have that AMX in the back. Now, something that's nice about this tank is it actually does have high explosive with pretty good pen as well. 92 mils of pen is very, very good, and will allow you to cut through enemy armor. Ooh, the STB actually flexed back. What a cringer, bruh. Alright, well, let's move over here, and I'm going to push the enemy E100. I'm going to do it quickly, though, because I don't want to be put in a position where this E100... Oh, let's put on our reactive. Well, he misses the shot anyway. The E100 is running the... I'm not actually sure what gun that is. It's kind of hard to tell from this angle, but it looks like he's running the higher alpha damage gun. Yes, that is indeed the 660 DPS gun. So we got 2 shells into his tank there. Pretty good stuff. We've already done 1,600 damage in this game. We are going to continue the push C100 here. We got his turret. There you go. 360. And this is where that great DPM, paired with solid armor, allows me to position the Super Conqueror in a way that the C100 really doesn't know what to do. And you can also see that we have really, really solid levels of penetration. 336 is more than enough to cut through an enemy E100. So while I could have chased him at the same time, I feel like it's more beneficial for me to start making my way over towards the enemy E75, the M103, and the players off towards this flank of the map. So we'll see if I can get some damage out. We'll shoot at the side of the M103. There you go. You can see that solid on-movement dispersion because I've decided to run V-stabs instead of refined gun here. I doubt we would have hit that, honestly, with refined gun. So we have the U100, who is obviously playing rather aggressive on these people. Gets a nice shell into the 75. We're going to move up ourself now, and we're going to get a easy shot right into the lower plate of that E75. I'm just going to put on my reactive. I really don't care if they shoot me. I'm going to start by, we're going to load in an HE, and there you go. 4005 is not running small, which gives me a nice little chunk of damage. And now we have the STB in our front. There you go. Easy clear onto the STB. Just like that, this was a really, really good game. We got a win. We did 4,000 damage and farmed like crazy. Now, obviously, that was a bad enemy team, but it still shows all the things that I love about the Super Conqueror. The gun is very accurate, even with its .344 dispersion, because it's always aimed in when you're moving and when you're sitting still. It means that you don't need to spend that much time actually aiming in on your opponents. With the solid penetration, you're able to cut through the majority of, strong, heavily armored vehicles, and with the great armor gun depression and town fighting capabilities, there's really no situation where the Super Conqueror does bad. This really is one of the best heavies in Tier 10 right now, because I don't see any weaknesses with it. I know that I made a video saying the Chieftain is the king of Tier 10, and I really do think the Chieftain is the king of Tier 10 if you're a skilled player, because it has Hesh, and it has the mobility, and the DPM. It has everything that you'd want as a skilled player. But I think that, honestly, the Super Conqueror is tied with the Chieftain. This thing is incredible. And any player that knows how to use it properly is going to dominate in the battlefield, because it's just so good. Okay, we are on Dead Rail, which, as many of you know, is my least favorite map in the game. Actually, Castilla is a close second for my least favorite as well, but the reason I hate Dead Rail is because of that tank destroyer right above me, the FE2 and 5B 183, which, if I slightly show my hull or turret to, will possibly ruin my game. But at the same time, you have to hold the hill, because holding the hill gives you very important bleeds and shots on enemy opponents, just like that 7.52. So you have to keep that in mind. Now, this C-100 is stupid. He is going to lose possibly a lot of health. Nope, the 183 missed him. I wish that was my luck, but no. Okay, well, we have the Yag Tiger. Let's aim it on his tank, and bonk. There you go. 386 damaging shell. Let's reload again. We're not able to obviously pen him with HE. We're not in a chieftain or anything like that, but we are getting some pretty easy farm out. This Yag Tiger is a little brain dead. I'm going to be completely honest. Another easy shell. By the way, this is where that fantastic level of DPM from the Conqueror comes out, or yeah, the Super Conk, because the DPM's amazing. And by the way, this 183, I will make it my life's work to take him out of the game. So, well, maybe not my entire life's work, because he went in the cover, but I hate 183s and everything they exist for. See ya! Alright, let's move over. We do have a Caro supporting us, and they also don't really have any tanks that I'm too worried about. They have an IS... Oh, a Yag Tiger still sitting back there, like the little cringer he is. And I don't really want to... As much as I bled out that Yag Tiger, and I know he's not a skilled player, it's still a 4,000 DPM vehicle, and a tank that I have to be very cautious about fighting on a ridgeline, so something to keep in mind. Get a nice shell into the 7.52, and that puts us up to 2,500 damage already, which is pretty sweet, honestly. Kind of hoping that Yag Tiger shoots at me. Oh, there you go, easy shot. We do get penned by the 7.52, and I'll just back up to a point where he really can't shoot me, especially with our Caro flanking. I think that'll be pretty good. Let's see. Yag Tiger is crossing. Ooh, yeah, look at that. 417, and he's dead. With the Yag Tiger being dead, I am now in a free-to-farm position. Let's see if we can HE. No. It's hard to tell, obviously, whether you can HE players or not. We activate our reactive armor, and that means now this 7.52 really just doesn't have much opportunity to do anything to me. So we get one shell into him, and we got 2 shells into him. That's already pretty good damage. Now we back up again. And here we go. You bounce me. See ya. There you go. 98. And the enemy team only has 2 tanks left. They have an IS-7 in front of me. I'm going to drive right over to... Let's see. Come over here, you goober. Come over here. I'm going to aim it right on your upper plate. Easy pen. 575, bro. He max rolled me. No. Pull forwards. Don't get hit. Don't get hit. Don't get hit. No! Sag. I was really hoping that the 183 was not going to nuke the IS-7, because it would have allowed me to get some more farm. But, Sag. We did a pretty good game, though. 5,069 damage, and we got a first class. I mean... The Super Conqueror really is just incredible. It's always been a great tank because of the level of damage per minute, the level of holding potential, and everything it has. And this is still an amazing tank. So if you want a premium, or should I say a collector, that really checks all the boxes, I would 100% recommend to think about picking up the Super Conk, because holy fun, this is just an absolutely incredible tank. Let me know what you guys think about this vehicle in the comments, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye!